program. Yeah, all 1 minute, sir. It is ongoing process setting up of your meeting, of our meeting on YouTube Live. Yeah. Welcome to the second session for the first day, and then for the first presentation will be Dr. Bhupinder Singh. Time is yours, sir.
Yes, very good evening, Professor. And I'm very thankful to our Professor Krishan Konrad for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. So, my presentation, thank you so much, Professor. Thank you. So, let me share my screen, and accordingly, we proceed further with this healthy discussion on as the panel is on conflict, transformation, peace building, and security. So, here the topic for which we are working on here is the terrorism, bioterrorism, and pandemic COVID-19. So there's a interlinkage of these three different aspects. One is very conventional when we are talking about the terrorism, and different kinds of terrorisms are there. And one form which is very particular and the threatening one is the bioterrorism. And after that, now we all witnessed COVID-19. So these are the different dimensions which specifically belong to these three different areas. And accordingly, we complete our discussion on these three different diverse areas and try to interlink these three with the health intelligence as well. So here, my discussion start with when we are talking about the terrorism part, and it's about when we're talking about the violence to create fear, to create terror. So it's not only limited to only one or two geographical location. This problem is for worldwide. And it's about to achieve sometime the ideological, sometime financial or religious or the political aim, or maybe the combination of all these four different objectives with the help of these kind of violent activities. So basically, it's against non-combatant targets are there, and they include nowadays the biological, chemical, nuclear, or explosive events also. So when we're talking about the use of force and violence, then it's about the fear as well as the those kind of provisions when the normal citizen or the people simply revert back, and accordingly some sort of actions are also required from the law enforcement agencies, specifically in the field of terrorism. So in order to attract or maintain the publicity, then they generate widespread fear, and they include the violent as well as the high profile attacks like 9/11, as well as in India 26/11, the Hotel Taj, and all areas belong to the Mumbai. So these kind of different examples we have from around the world. So, like they have these kind of hijacking, hostage taking, kidnapping, mass shooting, car bombing, and frequently suicide bombing also there. So these are the different kinds and the forms they are falling, and the victims as well as the locations often they selected where the crowded area, and the damage more as compared to when we're talking about the those kind of areas where less populated. So these things specify about the objective behind these kind of groups when they are following these different aspects or the provisions here. Then the like the school, shopping centers, bus, train stations, restaurants, nightclubs. They targeted these kind of things because here the members are more, the people civilian population are more, and it's very easy to put the more hyper kind of dent on these kind of different places there. And the goal here is about to destroy the public sense of security and the place most familiar to them. So basically, it's to create a fear, and that fear they feel it will be a long lasting. It's not only about a one time or for that temporary period of time. So that's why the major targets like the buildings or some kind of locations where the economic or political symbols like assemblies, the military installations. So they feel when they are doing these kind of activities, then they put pressure upon the government and then fulfill their demands, which are obviously the demands may be the political power or maybe the money and the other the philosophical or you can say the religious objective they try to fulfill here. So now after this, the most important when we are talking about this, the terrorism part is about to generate a fear to achieve political goal or maybe the military victory. They feel it's possible, but the concept here is about it's considered as it's a weapon of weak, and the weapon of weakest here is about the terrorism part. So specifically, so we can say it's about to utilize the mode of this the threaten where they spread fear for the ideological agendas to fulfill here, and the different aspects from one when we are talking about the law is there to take care these kind of illegal activities. We have certain rules, regulations, protocols, conventions, declarations at international, national level. So, but still, these kind of minor as well as the major attacks are going on. So, these terrorist attack nowadays, like the biological, chemical, nuclear, and one form we all witnessed is about the bioterrorism here. And in this case, they go with those kind of things when we are talking about the challenges are more for the global security different paradigms are like the biological agents like bacteria, virus, toxins, or the pathogens to cause harm, fear, or the disruption within the population. So specifically, they go beyond from this traditional kind of things and entered into the new one where they put mental pressure, the psychological trauma for which simply you can say the decentralization as well as to disturb the economic perspective of around the globe. So the health professionals are aware about this. The bioterrorism is a potential vehicle of nowadays for the terrorist activities, and they need to address properly for this kind of disease screening, what kind of the measures taken by the WHO, the activities like the radiation, that role of professionals evaluating and testing kind of things are there, which associated with this the concept of terrorism part. So the data when we are collecting about this, the identification of the screening of disease is really important to save from these kind of unusual pattern of illness and as well as the potential bioterrorism activities. So for the global health perspective, different kind of decision making, actionable kind of things are there, which are totally evidence based strategies should be required for the health safety, for the welfare of general public. So lastly, the one form again, the specific form here is about the COVID-19 pandemic here. And the conversion of this kind of threats are multidisciplinary against the human health. It's like indirect crime against human being, and both pandemic and terrorism are dangerous for different aspects, like obviously for the public health, safety, security, as well as the societal stability is at stake when we're talking about whatever the terrorism or what about the bioterrorism here. So they mostly because of the you can say the respiratory illness, and they infect at one time more people. It's more harmful and more dangerous, and these kind of older people and the medical conditions belong to whatever the diabetes, whatever the chronic respiratory disease, more prone to these kind of communicable disease as compared to non-communicable. So, to identify this outbreak and to save globally the people from these kind of communicable disease, the certain monitoring system, information sharing methods are there, and the threats from this bioterrorism and the pandemics prevented, controlled with the help of social legal strategies. And most importantly, the role of health security intelligence are here. So the social aspects where the awareness as well as the proper medical checkups are there. From the legal perspective, we have rules and regulations for the hospital management, as well as there's the R&D for the specific kind of drug and disease kind of perspectives are also there. And the health security intelligence in the context of bioterrorism is for the collection, analysis, and the spreading of the information and the data for the potential health threats, including the bioterrorism activities are there. So these things, the warnings for the safety as well as the security and the public health, and the assessment as well as the framework is really required for all perspective, and with the help of this nexus between health security intelligence, countering terrorism, which exemplify the indispensable kind of the fusion of science, technology, and intelligence is really required. So when we are using the information analysis, the international cooperations, health security intelligence, then we save ourselves as well as the our family, the society, and globally as well from these kind of different endemic and the pandemic, as well as the terrorism and the bioterrorism, when we all are in this interconnected world. So with this, I am again thankful to my really this the Professor Krishna is really a great and humble personality. So thank you so much for giving me such a wonderful opportunity, and I'm here when we complete this session and for the discussion part. So thank you so much. Uh, I complete my presentation with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof, for the kind presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the first presentation today for this session from Prof. Bhupinder Singh. If you have any kind of questions, comment, follow-ons, we will put aside after the three presenters. The second presentation will from Oh, sorry. It seems that there is a technical problem with Dr. Alam. So let us have the second presentations come up from uh, Assistant Professor Dr. Leni Winardi and the team. Yeah. I would like to invite Ibu Leni. Yeah, time is yours. We have 20 minutes because you have three presenter. It might be we can put until 30 minutes. Go ahead, Prof.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity, Professor Ismail. Okay, maybe I can share our presentations. So I think here's on the map. First, I would like to introduce our team. My name is Leni and Ferdi. We're from Universitas 11 Maret and Mirakusuma from Empatiku Foundation. First, we have a plan to this research about analysis of the impact of the tourism handling policies on the fulfillment of child rights at the pre-judicial stage, lesson learned and good practice in Indonesia. So this is the background, but first we would like to say that the reason of this research is urgent because it's not much intentions to the issue, because usually research on radicalisms focus more on the main perpetrators. However, we try to visit other things, especially children who were considered affiliated with the terrorism because their parent become a part of that group. So in fact, when there is a justification, it's the same as allowing the pattern to repeat itself. In other words, the justification has the potential to give like a new events, and they also become terrorists in the future. So this is the background, because we may be concerned in the some law in Indonesia include law number 5 of 2018 concerning the eradication of terrorism crime, law number 35 of 2014 concerning like protections and so on, have been issued to protect the rights of children affiliate or suspect of being associated with criminal act of terrorism, including legal product derived from the law 35 government regulations number 78 concerning special protection for children and derivative of juvenile justice system law concerning the application of criminal act based on restorative court issue by Indonesian police through regulations number 8. Although the law children are protected, the applications not regulate well in how to handle children affiliated with terrorism movement. So we concern how have the law and the derivative regulation and ensure the protection of children's rights applied in the process of pre-education's period of criminal act of terrorism. So this is our problem statement. The study wants to answer the following questions. How is the application of the verdict on the investigation of cases of children associated with terrorism, and how the child decide to be the victim? What are the recommendations of these determinations, and what is done as a follow-up to determinations? And the third is, and how is the children determined to be suspect perpetrator of a criminal act of terrorism? What are the recommendations of the determinations, and what's done as a follow-up to determinations? And okay, I think the rest of the presentations will be presented by Mira. Please, time is yours. Maybe I can stop the PowerPoint. Thank you, Mira.
Sorry, I thought we continue the presentation. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you, Mbak Leni, for allowing me to share the presentation. Now let me share the screen. Okay, so the purpose of this research is to study the best practices and distill lesson learned about what efforts have been done, and of course what lesson learned, what's the gap, that we could learn from the practices on the ground. Two issues around whether children are victims or as suspects. This could be considered during the pre-adjudication stage. And of course, the reports of the research would be submitted to the government of Indonesia, especially the detachment of 88 anti-terror Indonesian police force and the wider community. We would like to cover different in the scope, having different perspectives through a qualitative data collection extracted from different perspectives, from the law enforcement officials, the policy making apparatus, the apparatus of the rehabilitation and reintegration services, the children facing the law, and the non-governmental organizations. We would collect the data through, of course, in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, and literature study on policy and regulations being implemented on the ground. We would like to collect the data and do the interviews, especially from the children facing the law, and policy-making government officials, service providers, law enforcement officers, and civil society organization officers. We would plan to run different activities, including, of course, the development of the framework, the focus group discussion review on the draft framework, development of the research aid, literature study, in-depth interviews, preparation of draft study report, online FGD to provide input on the draft report, finalization of the report, and dissemination. Along the plan of the research, we anticipate risks that may come during the research, which are some rejections from the informants. However, we try to anticipate by providing a clear introduction and delivering a transparent information. And we also ask for the informants to sign informed consent before the interview. And that's to recap our research that has been highly demanded by the police officers, because they are on the ground feeling unclear with the conflicting laws. So we would like to learn more on what has been implemented and how these law enforcers have the perception around children, and how through the juvenile justice system, these children can be protected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mira. Prof. Ismail, I think yes, we have done the presentations. And we will open the discussions after the next panelist. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Ibu Leni, Ibu Mira for the kind presentations. If you have any kind of questions, hold on your questions or comments. We would like to invite the next speaker, Dr. Alam Girkan. Dr. Alam Girkan, you have opportunity to present 15 to 20 minutes, and we will put aside Q&A. Time is yours, sir. Dr. Alam, can you listen to my voice? Yeah, hopefully you are still there. And this is opportunity for you to present your presentation. Yeah, Dr. Alam, it seems that he is not active over there. Yeah. Let me invite everyone on the Zoom to raise questions, comment to the two presentation already done before in these sessions. We already have, yeah, Prof. Bufinda. Unfortunately, he already logged out from the Zoom, but it is not make us stop for the sessions. If you have any kind questions, comment to the second presentation from Ibu Leni and Ibu Mira, for those who are in the Zoom meeting, you can raise your hand or you can type the questions on the chat box. And then for those who enjoy the presentation through the YouTube live, you can type over there in the comment and I will read for you the questions. Yeah, there is one question to Ibu Leni and the teams. Yeah. Could you explain what is the connection between counter-terrorism and the child right? Because uh, it seems that the terrorism has another connection with the children, and then even that the 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 one already decided by the court to send them to the jail, they have family, children, and some kind of their family around. So would you like to explain, Ibu Leni or Ibu Mira?
Yes, Pak Ismail, thank you for the question. I will try my best to answer the question. So, terrorism movement has been, for in Indonesia for the past 2-3 decades. Yeah, and the trend has been changing towards engagement of women and children. And the topic of the research is around how policies could become a tool to ensure the protection of child rights. Yeah? Children in some perspective are victims in the terrorism movement. Under those under the age of 18 could not be an independent decision maker. Yeah. So their engagement, children's engagement in the movement, terrorism movement, should be protected, should be avoided, and their rights should be fulfilled. Yeah. So many of the movement now targeting children, either as the in some areas, not yet in Indonesia, but it's leading recruitment of children as their child army, child fighter. But there are many other roles that the movement are targeting children, because psychologically they are very loyal to the movement. So how we can ensure the protection of the rights of these children against violent extremism and recruitment. So in the discourse around whether they are victims or they are suspects of perpetrators, this should be clear in the what we are trying to focus in during the pre-adjudication stage. So there is clearly a link how counterterrorism should protect the rights of the children when they when they are affiliated or associated with terrorism. So I hope my answer answered the question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Mira. That's a kind answer from the questions, and then thank you to the participant who joined us from the YouTube live. And Alhamdulillah, we already have Dr. Alam with us here in the Zoom meeting. So I would like to invite Dr. Alam Gir Khan to present his presentation. We have 15 to 20 minutes, Dr. Alam. We thankfully, I would like to invite you, and time is yours. Yes, it's still unmute, so you can start. Okay.
Seems we can't hear you, Alamgir.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Your sounds will already come up, and we listen clean and clear.
Yeah. Stop sharing the screen. Can you hear me now? Sorry?
Yeah, Dr. Alam, you can go ahead.
Uh, about the post-Taliban Afghanistan and the future of militancy in Pakistan. Um, just to give you an idea of what's how this TTP or Taliban are the current religious militancy emerged in Pakistan. That was big during Soviet Afghan War, which started in December 25, 1979. During that period, there were mujahideens actually, which were trained and which were fighting against the Soviet Union, and they were supported by Pakistan intelligence agencies with the help of US and Saudi Arabia. So then came 9/11, and we know that the US invaded Afghanistan on 7 October 2001. And they fought there, the NATO forces, for almost 20 years. And then the US left. So after US left, so the Taliban actually returned back to government. They occupied Kabul and established their own government there, who are currently ruling Afghanistan. Um, in in Pakistan, Pakistan, which became an ally of US in this war on terror, started military operations against these Taliban, which later emerged, in 2007. So Afghan Taliban, and then there were Pakistani Taliban, who were established in 2007. So these Taliban, there was decline in 2016. Different military operations were conducted, but then after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, there has been resurgence of these militant groups. Most importantly, Taliban, Tehreek Taliban Pakistan. This research study primarily focuses on what are the key factors which are responsible for this re-emergence of TTP in Pakistan, after the US withdrawal, and then what are the impact of the TTP re-emergence on women in the tribal areas, which remained an epicenter of TTP during the war on terror, and how they are currently seeking alliance with international terrorist groups such as Al Qaeda and ISK, and they are posing serious security challenges to the global security. So, how this alliance of TTP, which is a national militant group, and their alliance with Al Qaeda, different international group, Al Qaeda and ISK, are posing challenges to global security. And then what are the policy options for Pakistan and the world to counter this re-emergence of TTP and its alliance um, with the militant groups? I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Alam. Even that the sound on and off in sometimes, but we already get the idea uh, from the presentation, Dr. Alam, about the Pakistan post Taliban, and then the word Taliban itself is already go around the world, and then uh, uh, some kind that it is popular and famous, the word of Taliban. Even talk that we don't need to explain the details of Taliban. After three presentations, I would like to invite every one of us, if you have any kind of questions uh, from the live Zoom here, or the one joining us from the YouTube. If you have any kind of questions, we are more than happy to pass the questions to Dr. Alam or to Ibu Leni and team. Yeah. Uh, Okay, I will read one question to Dr. Alam. Would you like to explain for us the contemporary situation in Pakistan after the Taliban, yeah, chair the situations or chair the government of a day in Afghanistan? So there is somehow a tone of positive since the Taliban uh, chair the government. Would you like to answer the questions, Dr. Alam? Yeah, the Zoom here tell us that the connections over there in Dr. Alam uh, residing residence has bandwidth low bandwidth. But if you can listen me, I would like to read once more. Would you like to give us the recent or the uh, contemporary situation after the Taliban chair the government, because it has a positive tone right now, where the Taliban already get the chair, the governmental chairs of the country. Can you listen? Thank you, Dr. Alam, for the kind answer of the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, if you have any response to the three presentations from Dr. Alam, from Prof. Leni and the team, and one from another presentations from Prof. Bupinder. So we are kind to invite you. You can raise your hand, or you can write the questions on the chat box, or for those who are joining the program through the live YouTube, we invite you to write the questions over there. Yeah, there is one question. I would like to read the question for Ibu Leni and the team. How the children situation if their parent is the terrorist claimed by the court and they should go to the jail. In terms of the children right, they have the father beat up them. Fortunately, their father should go to the jail. And how this kind of situation? Who will give food for the children and the family? Yeah, please, Ibu Leni or Ibu Mira.
Yes, thank you for the questions. I will try to help to answer the questions. So there are many cases on children affiliated with terrorism. First case is one, I would say either a mother or father or either both parents are perpetrators and sent to jail. The children will live or taken care by the families, members of the families. However, the government now also try to ensure the fulfillment of the rights, like the food, housing, schooling, and everything for the children. Especially also the worry that their parents spread the ideology to the children. Yeah, and some of the children were sent to rehabilitation center. We have cases that the children are already indoctrinated by their parents. So the parents died from bombing, and the children were sent to have rehabilitation activities for about I recall about 1.5 years or so. But post the rehabilitation, they live in a Islamic boarding school to have to continue their education and to live with other children under this big family of the boarding school. We also have cases who this individual child has been recruited by the terrorist group through praying groups. So they are the terrorist group provides teachings in these praying groups, and two brothers were indoctrinated, and the terrorists already seized and sentenced, and these two children were sent to rehabilitation center. However, even though these two children have been very good in the rehabilitation center and were ready to be sent home, they were sent to court, and the court sent them to the prison and disregard their stay and good performance in the rehabilitation center. So there are different practices that questioned the protection, the rights protection of these children when children are affiliated with terrorist ideology. So these are some examples how children affiliated, and also how then the rule of law play an important role in ensuring the fulfillment and protection of child rights. I hope I answer your question.
Thank you, Ibu Mira. That's such kind answer that could give us the explanation how to portray or how to understand the situation about the child or the children rights, even that they have in case their father or his father come into jail. I would like to to invite anyone to raise questions, comment if you have any kind of questions or comment. But if there is no one, I would like to invite all the presenters to give the closing statement. I would like to invite once again Dr. Alam to give the closing statement to end our sessions for this afternoon. Dr. Alam, time is yours. Yeah, there is a connection problem with the Dr. Alam. So I would like to invite Ibu Leni and team. Would you like to say something as the closing statement?
Thank you, Ismail. The point that we would like to say again, thank you for this opportunity for us. And the point is that we can abide the rights of children, even though they're part of terrorism or the parents become the part of terrorism, because I think we must protect them, and I think it become the the gap of the research of the tourism, because I think there's not much focus on these things about the children or the family. I think the rest of the closing statement, maybe Mira can add some.
Yes, Ibu Leni. So I would add to say that exploring the exploring how policies could become a tool and exploring how the policies being implemented, being applied, and exploring the gaps, best practices could be an added value to ensure the protection of child rights when they are affiliated or associated with terrorism. Findings, recommendations could improve the performance of the justice system, especially juvenile justice system, how the system could also become part of the process ensuring the protection of child rights. I think that's it, my addition. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Leni and Ibu Mira. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the end of our second session for the first day. I would like to thank you to everyone already joining us, Dr. Alam, Prof. Christian, Ibu Leni, Ibu Mira, uh, uh, Mas Ferdian, and everyone joining us through the Zoom. And then for those who are joining us through the live YouTube, I would like to thanks to for the participations. And this is the first day of our symposium, and then we will have 3 days in row. Tomorrow for the second day, and then the day after tomorrow with the third day, and then I'd like to thank to Prof. Christian and the team already make this our first day successful, and then hopefully every one of us enjoy the presentation, enjoy the topic and the discussions. It is opportunity for us to learn and to learn about the situation to about the encounter counter terrorism. Thank you. Have a nice afternoon, everyone, and see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the London time. See you, Prof. Christian,
Thank
Buleni.
you.